Good morning. Welcome to Detroit in Black and White. I'm Adolph Mongo. Alan Lango, co-founder of Deadline Detroit, is not with us today. Vanessa Moss is back in town. She's on her way. But we got some special guests. Deputy Mayor, City of Detroit, Todd Bettison. How you doing, my bro?
Feel good. What up, though, Detroit? How y'all doing this morning?
And then we got a shit starter. He keeps stuff going. Eric Brown, who, you know what, I like his cause, his passion for literacy in this area. You know, welcome back.
Good morning.
Jim Nardone, former police chief at Trenton, resident, I don't know what he is. He's not left, right. He's
Sensible.
Yeah.
Independent.
Okay.
Reasonable.
Let's go to our first guest. Outrage of the week. What's your outrage of the week, Deputy Mayor?
It has to be the mass shooting that happened last Saturday, where we had 21 people shot, and the block parties, and just for Detroit, you know, illegal block parties. We're not talking about, as Chief White said, grandma's block party. We're talking about a situation where we have a lot of folks, a lot of young people in particular, that go on social media, drop the location, and it'll be a complete street takeover. And we're talking about 300, sometimes 400 people. And and when you look at the scene from what the media showed, you can see the tequila bottles, you can see all the alcohol bottles. And so it's for the residents that live on that street, you know, they have cars blocking them in, and it's noisy, and it's just a takeover. And it's something that Detroit residents, you know, shouldn't have to tolerate, and it's just out of control. And so, but Chief White is addressing it, and we know that when we get that many folks together going live on social media with alcohol, and we know that the adolescent brain is not fully developed, and so you got alcohol, you got weed, you got guns, and it's gonna be something that pops off.
Well, you got critics saying that there was a lack of cops there, and you had gang warfare, and that the police should have been prepared. You saying this was just some stuff. Well, somebody put it on social media at the last minute, and 300 showed up, and you know how they do it at the mall. You know, you rush a store saying, "Meet me over at Gucci. We're gonna take everything."
So the Detroit Police Department, they were breaking up a block party not too far from there when that stuff popped off. And they have strategically been addressing it based off of what they have observed. They knew it was a problem, but now it's a bigger problem and more prevalent than was originally estimated. And when you look back and just seeing that it's becoming more and more popular and organized, because they do stuff to avoid detection. They're not letting the cops know. They don't drop their location. The young folks will know that it's going to be a party, but you have to get a DM, and then they'll say, this is the location, show up. And then they're so sophisticated that even when the cops move in, they have a secondary location where they're moving to. And so the cops can break up one, it's another one. And so we're talking about a large city, and we're having individual young people coming from all over. They're coming from Farmington Hills, because it's a whole ecosystem. And Detroit is that entertainment spot, and everybody want to be in the city of Detroit. And so just like other type of events, it's cool to be in the city. So we got our suburban kids, we got everybody else coming to hang out in the city, and we're going to make sure that we keep it safe. So the chief laid out his plan. And now when you call into 911 and it's noise, you say it's a block party, you know, folks are blocking.
That's priority one.
It's a priority one now. And so the police will be there, and he has a dedicated car that's just going to be driving each precinct looking for these block parties. And so guess what? The block parties are a top priority to address, and we'll be busting them up. And if you don't do it the right way and you're doing these illegal block parties, we're going to hold the homeowners responsible as well.
And no question. Eric,
My outrage of the week is the American electorate. And I say that because we call ourselves the greatest country in the world. But we have been forced with a 78-year-old, 34-time convicted white old man, an 81-year-old cognitively impaired white old man, and people are losing friendships. Family members are not speaking to one another over these two people. I mean, come on. I mean, we have to do better. And, we'll talk about the candidates forum later, but this is one of the reasons why the candidate forum has to take place. So people can see and speak to the candidates, ask questions, let the candidates present their platform.
But Eric, we got a age requirement for folks to run for president.
35.
Okay. Shouldn't we have an age limit for when they can really run for president at the end?
We
70,
should, but
80,
that's a hypocrisy of America as well, because you have right now 85% of those that have been polled since the debate says that Joe Biden is too old. 85%. Then you have, prior to that, you go back to like February, March, over 70% said that both of these guys were too old. But they still went to the primaries and selected these guys to be the candidates or the presumptive nominees. So the people are the problem, not the candidate.
But we have had that problem before, and I look back when Gil Hill ran for mayor, and people said he was too old. And I remember Gil on TV saying, "You know what? I'm too old to run for mayor." Miriam Mahaffey was in college when I was in elementary, but yet she getting reelected. He's saying, "You know what?" And I'm not, and he wasn't trying to knock her. He's saying that if you are fit to run, you can drive, and you got your mind.
But see, you just said
why would there be an age limit?
You said the key term, fit. I don't think either one of these two men are fit to be in the office. We've seen actions
but
by
this
both.
Is what you got. But this is what you got.
And it's unfortunate. That's what I'm saying. I blame the people. That's why I keep saying I blame the electorate for what we have right now.
Okay, Jim, you're outraged.
I'm going to follow up on that and just suggest that when you talk about the people, it's the press, right? The press is. I spent a few hours watching the press the other day. I looked at a YouTube video just last night. It was Australian television. At the top of the Australian television, it said, "Trump jokes about becoming dictator on day one." And the story was, what a joke. Trump said he's going to be a dictator on day one. The president of the United States has suggested that Trump claims to be a dictator on day one. We have the press, CNN, promoting this. This is terrible for our country. And when you talk about the electorate, this is what they're hearing. You turn on the TV and it says, Trump said he's going to be a dictator. Well, it was a dumb thing for him to say, right? He can be a threat. You can believe he's a threat. Well, let's be honest with folks. Why are we lying to people? Why do we have so much propaganda? That's what's leading people, dividing people. That's why our society is so divisive.
You just hate the media. Media ain't the problem. It's folks that make these decisions, and they put a failed reality show host who became president. It remind me of the movie Back to the Future, where what's his name, Marty went back and he met the professor. The professor said, "Oh, you from the future? Who's the president?" He said, "Ronald Reagan." He said, "The actor?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I don't want to be in that." He said, "If Ronald Reagan is the president, we really fucked up."
Well, you can vote for whoever you want to vote for. And that's something that some of the media is trying to say, well, you shouldn't be able to vote for this guy. Or you shouldn't vote for this guy because he's too old, because he's too ugly, because whatever you don't like about him, you're trying to influence people. Let's let people vote for who they want to vote for, but let's give them the right information. And now that I've said what I have to say, I'm going to step away and let the great Vanessa Moss take my seat.
Yeah, but I was always taught that when somebody tells you who they are, you better believe it. And so when somebody says, I'm going to be a dictator. I mean, Donald Trump has proven that he keeps his word.
Donald Trump is a psycho.
Yeah, and he's going to do everything that he said he was going to do. And I just say, Black America, wake up.
Well, Black America ain't waking up because Joe Biden is banking on the Black caucus to save his ass. And my outrage
And that's the black people fault.
My outrage is when John Conyers got into his situation, Black caucus not only threw him under the
Rolled
bus,
over his ass twice.
They didn't roll over him twice. They took a bulldozer and dug a hole and put him in there after 50 years or whatever. And you know what? Charlie Rangel, same with Charlie Rangel. So now James Clyburn, who he masterminded the rise of Joe Biden as the presidential nominee 4 years ago, he holds the key to saying you got to step aside. Now, people saying it's kind of late.
Listen, good morning, everybody. I'm back. I am back.
The queen is back.
Yes, the champ is here. But listen, I concur with what you said. If you believe, if that man said that he's going to do it, you better believe it. What I'm pissed off about is this. First of all, in this camp, the Democratic camp, you got some Judases around you, okay? You got some Judases around you that decided that they want to say, hey, you're incompetent. He should not run. It's too late in the game. Yes, it is. And you got doggone George Clooney. Yes, it is. It is too late. Why do you say it's not?
Because it's not. It's not
too late in the game for another person.
If you saw Joe Biden get on a 747 with a pilot uniform on, you know.
Yes, Vanessa. I have a problem too. Y'all saying it's too late. You
don't even know the history of how they do this shit. It ain't too.
It's not too late.
Who would it be?
There she is. She's sitting right there in second chair. You know what? You got to. That's right.
But here's the problem, though.
Did any of you guys get the text message asking, would you support Kamala Harris if she was to run as president? Did you get that text message?
I didn't get it.
I got a text message. I didn't answer because I think it's buffoonery. I'm sorry.
No. She's not a buffoonery.
Listen.
But Joe Biden's going to take that. You know what? 6 months from now, you're going to cry because you're going to say the Republicans got the House, got the Senate, got the Supreme Court. They got it all.
They're going to get it.
No, they're not.
They're going to.
No, they're not.
They're going
no,
to.
They not. No, they not.
What did you guys expect for that man to do when he did the press conference the other day?
Quit.
You expected him to quit? Did you?
No, I did. He's a
no. I don't know exactly.
When you fall down.
You talking to me? You don't believe that?
How you gonna tell somebody? How you gonna tell somebody what they believe?
Because I know you.
You don't know me. You don't think you just came here.
Yes, I do.
Sit down, girl. Sit down. We're gonna take a break because she's been taking LSD or some shit that they've been drinking. Right.
This is outrage.
Listen, it is a outrage. If you believe in that, fuck Joe Biden. No. He got to go.
No.
It's a show.
Right. Listen.
We're going to take a break. Okay. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. Detroit and
This is Alyssa Slotkin, Democrat running for the U.S. Senate. I want to share a story about who, more than anyone, taught me the importance of listening and accountability. It was President Barack Obama. I served in the White House on his national security staff. I got to see him in action, up close, and behind closed doors in the Oval Office. First, he was brilliant, and therefore demanded people really knew their stuff. It was President Obama who grilled me on issues and demanded accountability on what we said and did. That commitment to accountability is exactly the approach I use today, listening to our communities. It's why I've written an opportunity agenda with detailed plans to strengthen Black businesses, increase Black wealth, and provide real opportunities for our youth. Because, as President Obama taught me, you better say what you mean and mean what you say. So that's why I approve this message.
Vote early. or on August 6th for Alyssa Slotkin, Democrat for U.S. Senate. Paid for by Alyssa Slotkin.
Without Project Clean Slate, there is no telling where I would be right now.
It gave him back his life, because once he got the felony, it seemed like life was over.
Being unemployed, being depressed, being a burden. Project Clean Slate helped wipe those things away. I can't say thank you enough. I am now able to work for a reputable airline. Detroit had my back, all because I live in Detroit.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabri, your Wayne County Treasurer. If you're living in a home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, the probate process can be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Ain't no question. We back. We got the deputy mayor. I don't even want to say who we got over here, Vanessa. And we got
You said it anyway.
we got the ombudsman of Detroit.
Y'all know y'all miss me.
How you doing?
Miss me.
How you doing, Bruce?
I'm all right. How you doing, Adolph?
All right, man. So what's going on in the ombudsman world?
Yeah, a lot. So obviously we just had a huge rainstorm, so a little flooding, some water main breaks, some down trees, but I'm happy to report that the city did a good job as far as cleaning that up. We didn't get too many calls. And I want to speak to something that transpired last night. So a good friend of ours who we know, Derek Head, is now transitioning over to DGC. We had a function for him. Current and previous legislative staff showed up to support him in his transition and say congratulations. Well, unfortunately, one of those staffers who's a senior of ours, she passed out. She could have hit her head. He caught her, was able to brace her fall, but she didn't hit her head. But the point that I'm trying to make is that the response from the fire department, the response from EMS, something that you would not have seen years ago, within 7 minutes. And I think that's indicative of the progress that we've made. And I wanted to highlight that. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say that we've made that progress. I'm not saying that we're always on time, but I am saying I can personally attest to, as recently as last night, that we had someone that was in need, and the response was within 7 minutes and took great care of it.
That you know everything's all right.
Yeah, she's good. I don't want to get into who it was and all of that other stuff, but she's fine. The point is, as far as city services are concerned, emergency response services, I got a chance to see it. You don't want to be in a position where you're having to have that experience. So most of us don't have a personal account, a recent personal account of something like that transpiring, but because it happened last night, because we did such a fantastic job, my job is to be constructively critical, and I think the deputy mayor or anyone else who knows me will tell you that I have no problem doing that. But to be balanced, I also have to give credit where credit is due in terms of our emergency responses and other services.
Well, that's great. And here we are, the day after the president spoke at Renaissance High School. How did you look at that, Vanessa?
Listen, I think I made it clear when I walked in here. Listen, I support the guy.
Okay.
I'm going to vote for the guy. I don't have a problem. I don't care if he came in and went to Renaissance High School in a wheelchair. Listen, Project 2025 is real. Listen, if that guy, the other guy gets in office and those two people leave the Supreme Court, I'm concerned about not me because I'm seasoned. I'm concerned about what the world will look like for my grandchildren. I have 2 grandsons. Okay, so what I think about it, I think it's awesome. Of course, he's playing to the Black electorate because guess what? The Black electorate delivered before, and they will probably deliver again.
You got the
You talking ish?
Go ahead.
You talking ish?
And it was packed. Those were
I don't
legitimate
believe it because I
straight
talked to you
Detroiters.
offline.
And the slogan
You
was
woke
on
up
point.
this morning, change your mind. Stop it. Stop playing
You know
with
what?
me.
You know what? You know me.
You playing in my face.
Yeah,
You
it
know
was.
what?
You playing with me. Stop playing with
6
me.
months
Stop
or not.
playing with me. Okay,
6
stop
months or
it.
not.
Stop playing with me. Go ahead.
It was
Deputy
straight.
Mayor.
It's straight up just when you look at the
Shut the
crowd.
fuck up.
I knew so many people that
That's
were
what we
there.
I was gonna say your mama,
Everybody,
but I'm not.
everybody was calling, and I think that the slogan, because they were wondering, was Detroit going to show up for him? They showed up. Matter of fact, it was so many
Y'all
people there.
delusional.
The fire marshal,
Yeah.
the fire marshal was like,
Y'all
he
delusional.
might. The fire marshal was
Y'all
like,
delusional.
hold up, let me get this out, y'all.
So
I'm trying to just
why
say,
are you
Detroit was
upset
there.
that nobody
And it
cares
just
about
showed
your
that-
grandpa?
It showed that Motown was Joetown. I mean, it showed that. And so the slogan was on point. Detroit showed up, and it's showing that they're coming out for him. He's our candidate. But I wanted to go back to Bruce.
We on the Titanic,
I want to-
Deputy Mayor.
I wanted
We
to
on
go.
the Titanic.
Well, I'm going down there. I'm right there with him because
Okay.
I don't
And
switch
50 years
I'm
from
right
now,
there.
50 years from now, we're gonna see that Wayne State shirt that says Deputy Mayor that be going down with it. And Vanessa, they're gonna say the shit star. They're gonna say quotes that didn't make it.
Hey,
I'm with him.
Listen,
Listen, he got to go. I said that I would vote for Biden if he was in a casket against
That's what
Trump.
you said. Yeah, so go ahead.
But I don't want him to be in a casket. I want him to be over in wherever he goes, Delaware, whatever.
You gonna be in the
Yeah,
same
yes.
nursing facility?
Listen,
Okay, go ahead,
no, I
Deputy
believe in assisted suicide.
It was one of to Bruce's point when he was talking about the fire department and the EMS response. I just want to let Detroit know this. One of the things that's really changed that's helping out with the response, if you have an emergency, to get us that 7 minutes is do a response. Back in the day when you saw a fire truck coming, it was strictly in the city of Detroit going to a fire. But we have trained all of our firefighters now. They're cross-trained as EMS. And so when you see these fire trucks zipping around Detroit, a lot of people think like, wow, we got a lot of fires in Detroit. No, our fires are way down, but they're coming there along with our paramedics as well. And so you're getting that top-notch fast response. And I will tell you that oftentimes it's even faster than 7
Well,
minutes.
y'all doing a great job there. But you know what? Y'all delusional when you think
Detroit
that.
wants the world.
Do you think that
Detroit wants
Joe
the world.
Biden is not going to take the Democratic
Detroit
Party
wants the
down?
world.
I think we have to support whoever the nominee is.
No, we don't.
Hold on.
No,
let
we
me finish. Let me finish.
No, we don't.
I do think it's problematic when on the world stage you have certain miscues such as referencing the president of Ukraine as Putin, as such as calling Trump, who you're running against, your vice president. That is problematic. However, whoever ends up being our nominee, whether it is him, Kamala, or whomever, we have to support them in order to keep this man.
There's no question
In
about
my-
it.
in my
But at the
opinion.
end of the day, if Biden is still president, yeah, I'm going to vote for him. But I don't want him to be there at the end of the day. I want him to gracefully leave. And you know what? I'm going to vote for him. If it's Trump or him, I'm voting for him. He can be at Elmwood Cemetery as they lay him in the ground. I will vote for him.
Okay, that's
But
And your vote will help you win.
but he shouldn't be the nominee.
And so why do you feel that it's not too
Because
late for another nominee?
you know what? Because
So you say I
you
don't
know
know the
who
history.
you know who
School
screwed
us.
you know who
School
screwed
us,
up.
please.
You know who screwed
School
up.
us, please.
I am schooling you, so be quiet. They knew that something was wrong with the president. He's getting old and stuff. And you know, when you take that office, Obama was a young guy. When he left, he was older than me. The bottom line is they leaked all this stuff. Trump didn't pull that shit out of the cloud. The cloud. He knew that something was wrong with Biden. So they played it. I think Republicans are overplay their hand right now, saying get rid of him. They don't want to get rid of Biden right now. They want Biden to be the nominee. Biden, really, if we got a week or two to make a change, and I like Harris. I know what she did when she was the attorney general in California. She kicked ass. They were scared of her.
She did her job.
Now, when she became the vice president, they put their foot on the sister and they said, you can't do this, can't do that. She should have just went rogue, but she didn't. She played politics. So if we're gonna make a change, we need to make a change. People get mad. I'm mad at the folks that surrounded him.
Yeah.
And then he got
Right.
Hunter Biden, a convicted felon who married his dead brother's wife and did all this shit.
The Jacksons did the same thing.
Well, it don't matter, but
They
he,
black royalty.
but what the bottom line is he's one of the advisors telling stick to the course. Well, they rather go down with the Titanic or they rather save this country, because we know if Republicans control all this shit, we got some crazies sitting up there, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Laura Bourback, and all these other crazy ass folks.
Let me say this.
Yeah, go ahead, Bruce.
Regardless of how this election turns out, as it pertains to the Democratic Party, we got some serious work to do. Because we had time. We had time to prepare for whatever we thought the possible outcomes were going to be. Now, I don't know how everyone else prepares, but you should always have a plan A, B, C, and D, contingency. And you should always prepare for the worst. If you knew that if you had any inkling that he was in this condition, to me, it is wrong to put him out there to diminish or take away from his legacy to a certain extent. He's been a great president for us to relieve us from Trump, but then to have him on a national scene,
and you had nobody. Biden done some good stuff,
right?
And you know what? The only time I hear what the president has done for folks is when we get the deputy mayor come on here and say, "This is what they did, gave to the city." Or
he did a lot.
Right?
I always say,
But
I
his
want a workforce. I want somebody that's going to ensure that they're doing the right policies, and that's what's going to be good and directing money to our communities. And so he's done that for Detroit, over and over again. So when folks are saying,
why they don't have the folks out there?
But so to your point, so if he has a problem, obviously he surrounded himself with some good people because he's been able to do some good things and he's been effective. So again, I'm like, why did you change the top of the ticket? If you are sitting here saying, and you're agreeing with the deputy mayor, that he's done some wonderful,
But I'm not gonna ride in a car driven by Joe Biden. Sorry. I'm not gonna ride with him. I'm not gonna ride with him.
So 2 weeks from now, what you're saying is this.
But if he's there, I guess listen, I parachuted on the deck of the Titanic with Kwame Kilpatrick and supported him because I knew I had a way to get off the Titanic. Listen, if I go to the dance with you, I'm gonna leave with you.
Absolutely.
No question about it. But before we at the dance, we need to make that decision. Should I take you to the dance, or should I not take you to the dance?
Let me say this. I was on TV this week, and with just some of the stuff that we've done. And so you may have saw me, and it was a lady, and it was an issue with her roof. And we got our roof repaired. They're working on our roof. But do you know that with our Renew Detroit program, we fixed over 800 roofs for senior citizens? Where did that money come from? That money came from Joe Biden. We're going to do another 600 roofs before the end of this year. And so with all the parks and all the stuff, the revitalization that's going on in the city of Detroit, Joe Biden sent like $850 million to the city of Detroit with that ARPA money. Detroit, if y'all don't get Joe Biden in, I'm going to tell you this. Don't ask me to fix nothing. I won't have any money. I'm gonna be broke. And Donald Trump already think that Detroit stole the election. So Detroit, I'm telling you right now, if Donald Trump get in, no money. You're done.
Let me ask you, were you at Renaissance High School yesterday?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
He wasn't.
Did they film it? I didn't see it.
Yeah,
I was in some other business. I had
before we go on, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back. We're gonna continue this Wild Wild West shit. Vanessa Ross.
If y'all want the money, if y'all want the money to flow, y'all better. Hey, I'm telling you.
I got an ATM. We'll be back.
This is Alyssa Slotkin, Democrat running for the U.S. Senate. I want to share a story about who, more than anyone, taught me the importance of listening and accountability. It was President Barack Obama. I served in the White House on his national security staff. I got to see him in action up close and behind closed doors in the Oval Office. First, he was brilliant and therefore demanded people really knew their stuff. It was President Obama who grilled me on issues and demanded accountability on what we said and did. That commitment to accountability is exactly the approach I use today, listening to our communities. It's why I've written an opportunity agenda with detailed plans to strengthen Black businesses, increase Black wealth, and provide real opportunities for our youth. Because, as President Obama taught me, you better say what you mean and mean what you say. So that's why I approve this message.
Vote early or on August 6th for Alyssa Slotkin, Democrat for U.S. Senate. Paid for by Alyssa Slotkin.
Without Project Clean Slate, there is no telling where I would be right now.
It gave him back his life, because once he got the felony, it seemed like life was over.
Being unemployed, being depressed, being a burden. Project Clean Slate helped wipe those things away. I can't say thank you enough. I am now able to work for a reputable airline. Detroit had my back, all because I live in Detroit.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabri, your Wayne County Treasurer. If you're living in a home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, the probate process can be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Well, welcome back.
In the game.
Okay. Welcome back to Make Change, Detroit in Black and White. Thank you, Bob Rowley. Yes, I did. We got Vanessa. Yeah, chef.
Yep.
No.
Everybody
No,
wants that too.
don't shush this queen, okay? No, absolutely not. I'm talking. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go to Bruce, and Bruce is going to tell us what's going on in the busman's office, and then after that, we're going to talk to the deputy mayor. We're going to talk to the deputy mayor. He's going to talk about the upcoming election and see this. The reason he's acting this way
Subscribe and what?
because he met me. I'll say that when I get ready to.
No,
you told me to shush.
Well, I might need your
I'm
microphone.
gonna step in real quick. I just
I
want to
might
talk
need
about
your microphone.
I just want to talk about a couple of things that we got going and what we've accomplished. So a large part of my job is taking complaints. Most people know that. The other part is developing policy through formal recommendations. And so one of the things that we made a conscious effort of is to reach out to our state legislators and see if we can take some of these recommendations and make them law. So October of 2023, we had disabled veterans property tax law signed into law by the governor, right? And so it improves the process. It no longer requires our disabled vets to come down annually to file for their exemption. They're exempted. They can file once and be done with it. That disabled veteran's widow could take that exemption with him or her to another location, and they can file at any point throughout the year. Another bill that was based on an ombudsman recommendation closes a loophole as it pertains to property transfer affidavits. So what that means in layman's terms is that we have investors and speculators that oftentimes don't pay their fair share, right? They don't pay the full taxable value. They never file a property transfer affidavit, which sets the table for that taxable value and robbing the city of Detroit of money that we should be receiving. So we've now closed that loophole. I want to give a shout out to Senator Sylvia Santana, who actually, those are her bills, but they're based on our recommendation, and she's a champion for the people. But I think it's important for people to know the reach and the strength of the office. So now those two ombudsman recommendations are the law of the land for all 10 million residents in the state.
Good, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah. I just want to say that when it comes to an upcoming election, one of the persons that I've been hanging out with lately is Mary Waters, and we know that she's running against Street Canada. And so, I know the Black mayors of Michigan, they're pushing from Mary Waters for the Senate race, and I'm also a supporter of hers as well. So, she may not have the money.
How do that race look?
She doesn't have the money.
But what I would tell you, she definitely has a ground.
I
and she was out there, and so it's a work, but she's a workhorse and she's gonna get it done, and so I'm seeing her. She's working. Folks are behind her, and we'll see.
How are we gonna get out the vote, folks? Because that you get a lot of young folks say we not voting, and then they play all this little game of I might vote for Trump. I talked to some young folks and they talking about I'm thinking about voting for Trump. I'm like, God, where are you coming from with this shit?
You got to get on their algorithm, and so they're in different places and spaces, and by going to where they are, because they're not going to come to us. And so where they gather, and I'm not talking about illegal block clubs and parties either, but I do have folks that are leaders, and you bring them in, and so you have to get to the influencers that influence them and bring them together. And that's one of the things that we, as folks in my age group, we have to do a better job of. I know a guy right now, his name is Ivan Mann, and he's the king of car shows. This guy right here could bring thousands and thousands and thousands of people together and by sending out just any post when it comes to that. And so connecting with people like him. So I gave KD a shout out, but connecting with people like that.
The Democratic Party raised millions and millions of dollars, and then you say, are you going to spend some of that to get out the vote, etc.? And then at the last minute, when it's 2 days left in the election, then they come down there and we got to get some preachers to get some people out.
I think
days are over with.
You're saying what I said earlier, regardless of the outcome, if we're victorious or not. The Democratic Party, we have to do some serious reflecting. We have to take a look at the system that's in place and acknowledge that, by and large, a lot of what we're doing is not working. It's just not. The last election that we won, it was a binary choice. It was either you go with Agent Orange, as I like to call him, or you go with a vice president that you saw under Barack Obama, who had policies that will benefit the bulk of America. He was to relieve us of him. So that was the easy choice to make. I think we had 66% of registered voters throughout the nation that turned out. Not having that turnout, to your point, this year is going to be detrimental if we don't get it.
So let me ask you this, though. Do you think that part of the Democratic Party's playbook is to do things like they did the other day at Renaissance High School?
I think they dropped the ball on that, because I think that you don't pick and choose who you want to be there. The folks that you want to come there is the people that they wavering, and I don't know if I'm gonna go out and vote. I'm not gonna do that, because when you speaking to the choir, we all there. We support the president.
I don't disagree with you, because I went to the NAACP dinner and I felt like, listen, all these people support you. You need to be out here in the street talking to these other folks that don't support you.
What was good about yesterday at Renaissance, what was good about that was it energized the base. It created that energy. In order for me to go and persuade somebody else to vote for President Biden, I have to be energized, and you have to get that strength back. And I believe that that's what it did yesterday.
So the base had to be invited, because I wasn't here in time. When I got back in town, I knew that he was coming. How did that go? Did you get a special invitation?
No.
Or anybody can go?
No, anybody can't go. The bottom line is, somebody asked me from one of the radio stations, shouldn't the president be going to places that don't support him? I said, no, he should be going to his base where they waver, where they might not support him, where before I got 85% of Bruce household that voted for me. Now I go back to Bruce household, only 35% saying I'm with you. I'm saying, where's the other folks at? Bruce said, they ain't feeling you, bro. You need to come back over there and do that sales pitch again.
I think part of the problem that the Democratic Party has had is that messaging. Yeah. Now, they have not done a job of showing the things that the president has done over the last 4 years.
But every 4 years, Vanessa, you know that we always complain and say that we get disrespected, whatever. I say the chicken's coming home to roost at the Democratic Party now, that they got to go out and they got to earn the votes of their most loyal base right now. They got to come back. They got to come to the deputy mayor. They got to come to the ombudsman. They got to come to you. Yes. Now they losing me because at this point, I'm saying,
if he's at the
Grandpa.
head of the ticket, you're gonna vote for him.
Right.
If Kamala is at the head of the
But
ticket,
I-
so
but-
they haven't lost you.
Yeah,
You gotta
but
talk
if Kamala is head of the ticket, I'm gonna go out and get other folks. Now, if Grandpa is there, you know, I'm gonna vote for him. But listen, I'm voting for a course. This is what I'm doing. There's no question about it.
But you said you would vote for a corpse. You
And
said
I-
you would be an
and I-
secretary and you would vote for
When
a
you invite Dracula to your house,
The
he gonna fight
point
everybody.
that I'm making is that I think they have not done a job of showing the things that he
You gotta
has
stop
done
making
since he
excuses for him.
To Vanessa's
not
point,
making excuses.
if you ask the average voter to tell you about the president's record, they probably couldn't. They probably couldn't tell you about student aid relief. They probably couldn't tell you about the manufacturing jobs that he brought.
Shouldn't
back.
all
They
those
probably-
people be jumping on his bandwagon right now?
Well, but the message has to be there. If the candidate, if
he paid
listen,
people,
if
he paid people to do that.
if he is in a diminished state and he is not his robust self as we're used to seeing him, the messaging has to be that much stronger to offset that.
If you
And
got
I-
on American Airlines and you saw Denzel Washington in a pilot uniform, would you fly with him? You know, you wouldn't, because you remember that movie, Flight.
Right.
Right.
Plane was upside down. Right.
No, you wouldn't get on it. Listen, Bruce, I'm gonna tell you, you've been the ombudsman going on 10 years.
Yeah.
One of the youngest ombudsman
Yeah.
selected. You're still a young man, and you got the pulse of the community. Here's another young man that he claims he was a police officer for 20 years. I can't believe it.
27.
Right. You know, y'all got the pulse of the city. And we work here, and we see what's happening, and we passionate about what we want to happen in the city of Detroit. I tell folks, I've been in this city when people saying cut the lights out, doing all this shit, but we're here. We're gonna stay here. We're not going anywhere. And the first time in a long time that a president is coming, he got to come to Detroit, forced to come to Detroit because that's his lifeline. Not saying we threw John Conyers under the bus, 50-year congressman, did a lot, and we threw him under the bus. Didn't have a graceful exit. Now we trying to give the president a graceful exit.
I'm trying to keep him right here.
He
And
ain't
so
staying.
it's too
He
out.
can't stay.
That's just too late. We need to continue on.
I
He
believe
can't
it's
stay.
You can't
But
take
let me
progress.
say
Not too
this:
late.
when
Not
you
too
talk
late.
about the people here at the table being compassionate and passionate about the city of Detroit, no, we're passionate about what happens here in the United States of America.
Yeah,
We're
well,
passionate
this is
about
the United
what
States of
we
America.
talk not just in Detroit. It's the
And
point that I'm
all
making.
locals. All of it's local.
I'm not saying it's not
I
local.
can care less about what happened in
That's
Florida.
not true because your brother's always on a plane on the way to Florida. Stop lying.
Listen,
Stop
no,
lying.
no.
Stop it. Listen.
But you know what?
He always on the
You
plane.
you got
Oh,
sound bites.
in
You
Florida.
got
Stop it.
sound. You got sound bites.
Stop it, sir.
We don't care. We don't care what you say. Stop it, because we all know at the end of the day that Biden is going to take down the whole Democratic Party. We're going to take a
Is it
break. and we're
him or
gonna
is
come
it the
back.
people that surround him?
Well, the buck stops at his desk. There ain't no question about it. And you can put perfume on a pig, and you can put Versace on a pig. You can wash the pig and still smell like a pig, and we're not going to take it.
This is Alyssa Slotkin, Democrat running for the U.S. Senate. I want to share a story about who, more than anyone, taught me the importance of listening and accountability. It was President Barack Obama. I served in the White House on his national security staff. I got to see him in action, up close, and behind closed doors in the Oval Office. First, he was brilliant, and therefore demanded people really knew their stuff. It was President Obama who grilled me on issues and demanded accountability on what we said and did. That commitment to accountability is exactly the approach I use today, listening to our communities. It's why I've written an opportunity agenda with detailed plans to strengthen Black businesses, increase Black wealth, and provide real opportunities for our youth. Because, as President Obama taught me, you better say what you mean and mean what you say. So that's why I approve this message.
Vote early or on August 6th for Alyssa Slotkin, Democrat for U.S. Senate. Paid for by Alyssa Slotkin.
Is it like the I tell people all the time?
Fellas, I'm new in town, and I've been here a couple of times. I absolutely love your place, man. But I've got to ask you, if you can, I've heard that you're going to be shutting this place down.
I'm not proud of it, brother, but we're behind our property taxes. And the county is all over us, man. I'm even afraid to even give them a call.
Well, we can't let it go, brother. I mean, we can't give up. There's got to be a GoFundMe campaign that we can run, even past the plate. Is there a forgiveness program or something that's out there?
Well, unfortunately, that's only for the big guys.
No, actually, Wayne County has payment plans for everyone.
Are you for real?
Yes, it's a well-designed program. We want to help you save your business.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri. If you have delinquent taxes on your home or business, contact our office, 313-224-5990, or visit our website, treasurer.waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Got it.
We're back. We're back. You know what? We had peace and
tranquility is what you're looking for.
Yes, we did before she came back. But now she come back and she, man, I'm glad you're back.
I know.
You know what?
He called me every day that I was on vacation.
I ain't called.
Well,
I don't even know your number.
We needed a rose between
Now
the
you know
thorns.
you need to stop it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even
Stop.
know your number. But let me tell you something. I'm telling the deputy man. You know, I said I would vote for Biden if he was in a casket. If he was on West Taunton on that level.
Oh my God.
I would vote for him.
You already did.
Congrats.
Last time.
But the bottom line is,
He
I
said that
think
last time.
this is my opinion. And I think we got time to make a change. It's like, okay, we got the designated hitter sitting right there on the bench. The vice president.
Well, how does that happen, though?
I don't think we have to.
Logistic.
No, he has to say.
He has to.
No, James Clyburn and the Black Caucus got to say.
They're not
you know
that's
what?
not gonna happen.
It's just like when Hillary thought she was going to win in 2008, 2009, whatever. And John Lewis said, I love you, Hillary. I love you. I support you. But my people saying, we got to go with this guy named Obama. And that was the beginning of the end for the Clintons.
She didn't necessarily have a choice in the matter. The president has a choice. At the end of the day, if he don't know nothing else, when we say he doesn't know and he's not aware, he knows that he and he alone has to be the one to say.
We all had
not
parents.
gonna-
We all had parents or grandparents that
And he said
can't
it's not-
drive, that can't do certain things, that can't walk down up the stairs, down the stairs.
Take the keys.
You take the keys, you put them in a wheelchair,
And
and
what-
you love them.
And what we're saying
What's
is,
so interesting though is folks act like Donald Trump doesn't
He's
have
a psycho.
but they act like he hasn't. They act like he hasn't.
Issues.
That he hasn't transposed.
He's a
folks'
psycho.
names.
He's a psycho.
Oh, absolutely.
He's a psycho.
But all of that is.
But
just
it ain't
washed
about
over.
Donald Trump. They hijacked the narrative, and they got it's in their corner. The Republicans, I have to give them credit. They hijacked the narrative. Democrats are set on their ass. They got progressives to leave and all these folks over here. We got Shriek. We don't have shit going for us here in Detroit. We don't have no advocates that can get the folks out to vote. Can Talib get folks out in Detroit to vote. No, she's telling her folks over in Dearborn and those areas don't vote for Biden. That's what she's telling. And Shree, he's just trying to survive because, oh man, he's sending out 5, 6 pieces of literature to one household, etc.
I gotta believe.
We got some real issues. We don't have those folks. Charles Adams dead. Coleman Young dead. All these folks ain't around.
Do you think it's too late? Do you think it's too late for them to galvanize and get the base?
No, not
you don't think it's too late.
I think we need. But Obama, the president, former president, they not coming to Joe Biden. They are not coming to Joe Biden's rescue. It's like when Lyndon Johnson decided not to run in '68. He said, okay, you got Hubert Humphrey, who was his vice president. He never campaigned for him, never did shit, and they lost. They had a third party. George Wallace took whatever votes, and Nixon won. And this is what we're facing at this point, but we facing, oh man, we got a Supreme Court that if Trump starts sending the army to arrest people of Congress, Supreme Court says it's legal.
They're gonna say it's okay.
Well, if we got a Congress that's controlled by Trump, or a Senate that's controlled by Trump, we're in trouble. We got to have checks and balances, and we don't have, at this point, Joe Biden got to say enough is enough. I was vice president for 8 years. I've been president for 4 years. I was in the Senate for 190 years.
Can he articulate that message? And if he can't,
yes.
Can the people surrounding
but
him?
he got a wife that's saying, I don't leave. And then he got a fucked up son that's saying, oh, you need to stay the course and shit. Now, you know what?
He did a great job. He has to show that he has the stamina and that he's a fighter.
He's a 10-minute man.
And he's doing it.
10-minute man.
And he's doing it. I mean, he did a great job yesterday in the city. And
10 minutes.
He did it. But he did. And it was longer than 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
It was longer than 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And he had the crowd energized. He needs to do more of that. And
kind of late, bro.
You just said
it ain't too late.
You just said it wasn't.
No, I said it's not late to make the change. I'm gonna do a Jim. I'm gonna do a Sparky Anderson. I'm making a change. I'm making a change. I'm getting a relief pension. I'm getting a relief pension.
So the good thing is, many of the folks who out there will be voting for him and getting across the finish line. They don't
the problem. There's a serious problem logistically. I asked that question because what it takes to actually make that happen.
They got the money.
It sounds good, but
they got Bruce. They got the money. You got people that can give them $90 million, saying I'm not giving it to them.
Yeah,
listen. I'm not going to give it to them. Why people mad at George Clooney? He's just an actor.
Bruce spoke about it. What's the plan? They'll just say remove him, but they don't have the plan of what's next.
Well, we gonna put the bulldog. What's her name? Kamala. We gonna put her in there. Let her do her thing, and I'll beat her ass up. But you know what? She's the vice president. Listen, when I worked for the city, when I worked for the city, I was a deputy director of public information. I was the mean guy. I had to fire people, had to do the shit. I did the shit job. You know what? That's what the vice president did. He's the deputy mayor. I see him all the time. Listen, his face is everywhere. He listen, I admire you for you out there. The ombudsman. People say, what is the ombudsman? When they find out who they have to call, they call him because they know his staff is gonna react, they're gonna do what they need to do. Joe Biden staff let him down. They hid his shit. Instead of somebody saying, y'all, yes, they did. Yeah, because they was leaking it. They was leaking it to Donald Trump.
I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. No.
It was a teleprompter guy.
No, never mind.
Okay,
we go. Debate makes me no, never mind. I didn't see it and you care less.
Well, you was in Greece doing your
Why you
thing.
telling all my business?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Because you exposed
Oh,
yourself.
Business.
We saw
Just
you on
like I
that.
said, Joe Biden had a Judas. Here you go, right here. Just say business.
I'm John Wilkes Booth.
Oh my God.
Jesus. But anyway, go ahead. This is your final thought.
Listen, if you're watching this show today, what we would like for you to do is like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Deadline Detroit, X. Like, subscribe, and share. We love the fact that you watch us every Saturday. Tell your friends about it. Come on
And
down.
Wednesday.
Right here at McShane's on the corner of Trumbull and Michigan Avenue. And oh, by the way, they're doing the show on Wednesdays. I just found out about it, so that means that they're cheating on me. All right.
Okay.
See you next week.
Deputy Mayor, your final thought.
You know, we spent a whole lot of time talking about the presidential election and what's coming up. Y'all already know where I'm at. You know, I support the president. He showed up in the city of Detroit over in Renaissance. And I'll say this. Adolph has already said that at the end of the day, he voted for President Biden. So everybody with Detroit in black and white, he voted for Joe Biden. I'm behind Joe Biden. And so let's get out there and do what we need to do. That's our guy.
Bruce?
Well, I want to say for anyone who needs the Ombudsman, you can reach us at 313-224-6000 or email us at ombudsman@detroitmi.gov. As far as the election is concerned, yes, get out and vote. Me personally, whoever is the head of that, whoever's our Democratic nominee, that is who will get my vote. So if it's Joe Biden, we're going to support Joe Biden.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's supporting us. And if you weren't up at 6:30 yesterday morning, Adolph, he's shy, he didn't want to bring it up, so I'm going to bring it up for him. He did a great interview on WJR 760, and it's on their website, but it's interesting about Joe Biden and about the future of the Democratic Party. So if you get a chance, there's a link on our Facebook page. Take a look.
Go watch him. He called me and told me, yeah, I'm on my way. Fuck my phone.
Vanessa, it's so good to have you back. Yeah. Welcome back. Straight from Greece.
In case y'all ain't here the first time.
Well, anyway, we'll be back next Wednesday. Yeah, we trying to shut you out, but
You know, you can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you for having me.
Simpson. You know, as always, that's my guy. Always been my guy. I worked for his grandmother, Barbara Rose. That was my girl, and I worked with his mother, Cynthia. That was that. Listen, God rest her soul, and your sister. And you know what? And great to be here. The deputy mayor, and you know, last year at this time, we lost our friend
Brenda Hill.
Yeah, that was my girl. You know what? She started a lot of shit just like Vanessa.
Oh, and by the way, Vanessa Moss, candidate for 36th District Court. I am a write-in candidate. Listen, don't say it can't be done because we have a mayor that ran as a write-in candidate. So this black woman can run as a write-in candidate, and I am running as a write-in candidate.
Okay, and I want to thank Bob Roberts over here at McShane's and in Corktown. Be back next week.